Just run fast and you guys will be good.
Yeah.
Man, the season is just flying by.
It is.
And just talk about, last week, and you guys have competed so far up in Eugene some pretty big events.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not like you're just competing at some, Division II school. I mean, you're going up against top athletes, Division I. What has that been like, especially the last couple of weeks, facing just, outstanding athletes?
Well, my first time competing against, like, Division I schools was when I went to the Oregon Preview. I was more nervous than I ever have been before, but I think that nerve helped me to perform even better than I had expected, especially it being my first 400 of the season coming off of my hip injury, and I ended up running at 59.1, which was good for my first time back. So, and other girls competing, it was one girl in particular, she ran a 54. And for us running like 58s and to be running against somebody like that, it motivated us to keep up with her and run faster. And I think that's why we ended up doing so well, because we're running against girls and guys that are used to running so much faster than us. But it makes us do better in the end,
Definitely. Obviously, you go there, compete against other athletes, other teams, but in practice, what do you guys do if there's a way to get better? Work on your time. What can you guys do when you're preparing for these big meets?
Well, personally, I think lifting weights helps a lot. Before I ever lifted weights, I think my time was pretty much a lot slower, and once our coach started getting us in the weight room more, our times dropped dramatically. I went from running 1 minute to 59s and 58s. So that definitely helps us, and us being able to have the forest over here and running the hills, that helps a lot as well. It adds to our endurance, and speed workouts on hills are very much helpful when it comes to those type of things.
I always wondered why they put the hills on campus. Are there schools, it's always fun to face other teams, especially in the conference, the years, there's always the Chico rivalries and all that.
Yeah.
But are there like athlete schools that you really enjoy competing against?
I would say Stanislaus and Chico too, but Stanislaus, I feel like their athletes are really well. We see them everywhere we go. So you kind of get used to seeing them, and you know what they're capable of. So when you're in the meet, if you don't know any of the other girls, you know that girl is really fast. So you're going to keep up with her or try to surpass her and see how, well you do off of that. So I think Stanislaus they're pretty cool.
For CR running, the cross-country team, good season. You guys are coming off a good season. Obviously, we're here in the years past. But do you start to hear that, people are seeing that, hey, each year the Humboldt State Track and Field, it continues to improve and, getting more athletes competition-wise, and they're really seeing success, and, other teams, coaches are seeing that?
Yeah, we get those comments a lot saying that, our team is getting bigger, we're working on getting more girls, we're working on more throwers, because some of our, we have more depth in certain events than we do in others. Like, we don't have that many girl sprinters, but we're working on it, and the ones that we have are so good that we kind of make up for it. So
now this week, forgive me,
a border battle. It's going to be a unique meet where we team with Chico to go up against Southern Oregon and Oregon Tech.
So going up there at Oregon Tech, and what is that? And it's an annual thing, right? Where you guys?
Yeah, it alternates from California to Oregon, and last year it was here, which was a lot of fun because we don't have that many home meets. But to be able to go, it's going to be my second time going to Oregon in general, and I feel like it's so exciting, especially because we team up with Chico, which is our highest rival. But to team up with them and still be able to compete against them, get with them, is a lot of fun. And it's just one of the fun meets that we have. Not too big, not too small, and I think a lot of people do pretty well on that one.
Excited more about competing or the no sales tax up there?
Competing, definitely. I'm not really a shopper. But, yeah.
I was going to ask you, what's working so well on the 4x1? It seems like you guys are ahead of where you would usually be in working together. Is that your opinion too?
I feel like we switched around the legs a lot, which was pretty different. I never used to come out of the blocks ever, and this was my first time being the first leg since I've been running track for the last 8 years. So I was kind of nervous about that because I was never a really good block starter, but actually being on the blocks and being first leg has put us at an advantage because we have our fastest legs first and last, and I think that made a big improvement because last year we weren't really organized with who we had first, second, third, and fourth. We were just put out there and everybody worked on our handoffs and everything, but things didn't always work. But this year I feel like we really planned out the way we wanted, who's first, who's second, who's third, and who's fourth, and we worked at practice. We worked so hard to get our handoffs down and make sure our steps are right, and we just remember to go out there and have fun. We set goals for ourselves every meet, and we try our hardest to break our goal, and by the end be running a 47. So I'm hoping by the end of the season that we hit our top goal up. So.
Is it, I mean, are the handoffs and all the transitions as smooth as they can be right now, or can they still?
No, they can definitely be more smooth, but I think last week we had our best performance. Our handoffs were so smooth and everybody was excited because last week we didn't really have that much time to practice the relays because we were so focused on our individual races. But I think when the time came down to it, everybody owned up and we ran it like we were supposed to, and we had fun while doing it. So we're excited about that.
Nice.